This little Victorian house in the heart of Denver is home to the Denver Women's Press Club, the oldest continuing women's press club in the United States. For over 9 decades, literary women have walked through this front door to promote their profession, share their knowledge, and celebrate the writing life. Inside these walls, the club's esteemed members host Meet the Author events and prestigious book signings by nationally known authors and our own club members.
Since I joined the Denver Women's Press Club in 1986, I've been house manager, eConnect editor, president, archives chair, and bylaws chair. I love the Denver Women's Press Club for several reasons. First of all, its history. It was founded by women who were courageous in breaking the mold and worked outside the home, and many of them were paid reporters. We still have women like that today. I love the club for its inspiration. When you come to the luncheon here, 4 of us sit around a little table, and I learn from the other women who often, women like Del Plested and Hazel Bradley, who earned their living as writers. And that inspires me to be as good a writer as I can be. I'm energized by these people. And I really enjoy working, learning what they're doing, the courageous projects that they're undertaking. We also encourage unknown writers with contests and scholarships and seminars. So we encourage people to become writers. And those are the reasons that I love the Denver Women's Press Club.
They sponsor educational writing seminars and facilitate intimate Sunday salons open to the public. Founded in 1898, the club has encouraged local writers for over a century. The annual Unknown Writers Contest discovers new talent and honors winners at a celebratory luncheon. To hone their own writing skills, members compete in an in-house contest judged by outside professionals. This popular event sets a high standard. At the awards ceremony, each entrant secretly hopes to win the coveted Minnie, an award named for the club's founder, Minnie J. Reynolds. A monthly newsletter delivered in both hard copy and online brings club news to more than 200 members who reside across the state of Colorado and as far away as Canada. The Denver Women's Press Club commitment to philanthropy is well known. Over the years, thousands of scholarship dollars have been given to worthy young recipients to further their education. The Francis Belford Wayne Award, established in 1941, goes to a deserving University of Colorado student each year. A second scholarship is given in honor of Ruth Underhill. Yet a third goes to a high school senior who is a Scholastic Art and Writing Award winner. To raise money for these scholarships, the club throws the glitziest jewelry sale in town.
I'm Faith Marcavecchio, and I'm president-elect of the Denver Women's Press Club. I joined the club in 2008 because an author that I was working with told me about the club, which I hadn't known anything about, and invited me to join. And I am actually an editor, so I didn't think that I would be qualified to be a member of this club. So I was delighted when I learned about this community and about the fact that editors can be a part of this community. One of my favorite things about the club are the contests that we do every year. We do an Unknown Writers Contest, and we also do an in-house writers contest. And I've been on the committees of both, and they're both great fun. One of my favorite contests of the year is the in-house writers contest, which gives writers in the club the opportunity to enter and be judged by a panel of professional judges. We have a reception and invite all of the entrants to come, as well as anyone else in the club who'd like to hear the writing of our members. And it's just the most moving event because people read their poetry, their fiction, their memoir in front of the group, and we get a wonderful sense of the variety of writers in the club and the great talent that we have in this group. It's just a really moving event.
Members support local charities as well. In December, at the annual Panty Raid Party, donations of ladies' underwear are collected for the Gathering Place, a Denver women's shelter. During World War II, the club opened its doors to feed and comfort hundreds of soldiers. Members offered writing instruction to those who wanted it. A sense of camaraderie and passion for their profession brings the members of the Denver Women's Press Club together socially throughout the year for summer garden parties on the back patio, joyous holiday celebrations, and just about any excuse they can think of to come together for good food, wine, and friendship. Since the purchase of the house from artist George Elbert Burr in 1924, famed poets, authors, and journalists have provided inspiration to the entire Denver writing community at the club's public events. Guest lecturers have included such writing luminaries as Robert Frost, James Michener, Abigail Van Buren, Catherine Ann Porter, Russell Banks, Chris Cleave, Annie Proulx, and Andre Dubusse. For over a century, Denver Women's Press Club members have attained recognition for their community service and writing excellence. In the 1930s, member Dr. Ruth Murray Underhill pioneered an anthropological study with Margaret Mead and subsequently wrote 20 scholarly books. In 1945, member Mary Coyle Chase won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama with her comedic play about an invisible rabbit, Harvey. Harvey's hat still resides inside the clubhouse. In the 1950s, member author Libby Block, who wrote for Good Housekeeping, Ladies' Home Journal, Collier's, and other popular magazines, became the highest-paid short story writer in the United States. With several impressive firsts, the Denver Women's Press Club members played an important role in Denver's history. In 1893, club founder Minnie J. Reynolds, a spunky political writer employed by the Rocky Mountain News, worked with other dedicated suffragists to make Colorado the first state in the Union to place women's suffrage on the ballot. Another founding member, Antoinette Hawley, ran for mayor of Denver in 1900. She was the first woman to ever campaign for this office. Charter member Helen Wixson became Colorado's first state superintendent of public instruction, and member Dr. Eleanor Lawney was the state's first female medical school graduate. Member Alice Polk Hill received the honor of becoming Colorado's first poet laureate, and member Agnes Wright Spring was appointed state historian. Member Mary Florence Lathrop became the first female to practice law in Denver, while member Frances Belford Wayne was the first woman to serve on the State Board of Charities and Corrections. In 1913, Helen Ring Robinson, the first woman elected to the Colorado State Senate, took her rightful place on the legislature floor. The list of firsts would not be complete without mention of reporter Helen Marie Black, who became the first female manager of the Denver Symphony and co-founder of the famed Central City Opera. But even with so many serious accomplishments, members of the Denver Women's Press Club share a lighter side as well. With the motto, "Drive dull care away," the club's founders drafted some very humorous bylaws into their constitution, including one which reads, "No woman shall be admitted to the club who is a bore." Clearly, the members took that one to heart. One of the most outrageous events held at the club in the 1970s was a reception for the English romance writer Barbara Cartland, who, dressed in a pink evening gown, arrived for her talk in a rose-covered limousine. Lecture topics ever since have often been colorful and sometimes controversial. Today's members of the Denver Women's Press Club have enormous pride in their heritage. They cherish their home on Logan Street and take special care to maintain and restore the small brick structure. Club members recognize the dedicated fundraising efforts it required to purchase the building back in 1924 for $9,000. The mortgage was paid off in full 3 years later. The house, designated a historic landmark in 1968, is truly one of Denver's treasures. Exquisite artwork by George Elbert Burr, one of America's foremost engravers and illustrators, still hangs on the clubhouse walls as members hold events beneath his original northern skylight.
I'm Catherine Millette. I go by the nickname Kim, and I joined the Denver Women's Press Club at the invitation of my mother, Alice Millette Bakemeyer. I had grown up in Denver, but lived for many years in Chicago, where I wrote magazine articles for Chicago Magazine, Chicago Tribune Magazine, the local publications there. And when I came back to Denver, I wanted to meet some writers. My mother, who had joined the club in 1998, she was 74 at the time, was looking for a project. She said, I need something to do. So she started writing about her neighborhood. She learned about Denver architecture, she interviewed people living in houses that interested her, and she ended up writing 3 books. She said that the members of the press club were invaluable. Whenever she came up with a new challenge, she could call somebody and say, do you hire an editor? How do you do an index? How do you self-publish? And always she could find a friendly, knowledgeable person to help her with whatever she needed to do to get her 3 books published. So I am finding that, the club is full of fun people, wonderful events, and I'm very, very happy to be a member. One of the things I've enjoyed working on is the Unknown Writers Contest. We think of this contest as perhaps the first time that someone has shown his or her writing to a stranger. And we get a great variety of entries. Members of the press club judge those entries and comment on them. And I've learned so much about the women in the club as writers by talking with them about the entries and talking about how we can encourage other writers to do what we've come to love to do.
I'm Sally Kurtzman, a past president of the Denver Women's Press Club, and currently I'm the special events chair here at our wonderful, wonderful club in its 3rd century. We offer so many wonderful events that you've already heard about: the breakfast, the lunches, the seminars, the workshops. And what our special events do is we bring in some of the authors that are already or coming to town, friends of members of the club, big time speakers. In the 30s and 40s, we had Michener, we had Robert Frost. Mary Coyle Chase was a member, and she wrote the play Harvey, and in 1945 was Colorado's very first Pulitzer Prize winner. And we know Harvey, that 6-foot rabbit, was real because he came by and he left his hat one day. We have had Anna Quinlan, we've had Carolyn Kennedy, Deepak Chopra. The speakers are absolutely excellent and inspirational to our members. Women who belong to the club have a variety of opportunities, and the special events are just one way to bring in our friends as well as our members. So the club is a wonderful opportunity for women writers in Denver because of the professional help that we offer them as well as the personal help. It's a wonderful place, and of course having our own clubhouse doesn't hurt, and having our own rabbit doesn't hurt either. Come and join us sometime.
The members of the Denver Women's Press Club stand tall on the shoulders of the courageous, talented, and independent women who came before them. They continue to plan for the club's future with innovative programs designed to fit the times and the needs of those who will follow. Through this door, the next generation of press women will carry on a proud legacy.